Welcome everybody to Blast Off Sports Media. We finna take off with another fire episode. We got my boy Lex from Real Sports Covering, my dog New York from Empire Sports Zone, and we got a special guest on the show today. We got my boy Antoine from Fantasy AA, the only AA that's not for quitters. Antoine, thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm appreciative to be on your platform.
You ready to talk some fantasy football?
Definitely. Always talking fantasy.
All right, let's get it. Let me set the table for y'all. Now, week 6 was a brutal week as far as injuries were concerned. We had Justin Fields go out. We had Trevor Lawrence go out. Ryan Tannehill, I'm going to mention him, even though he shouldn't be on none of y'all fantasy teams. Christian McCaffrey left the game as well. Garrett Wilson left the game as well with a sprained ankle, but the Jets are on a bye, so he should be ready to go by next week. David Montgomery also left the game. He's out next week. Deebo Samuel, he also left the game. He's day-to-day. Kyron Williams, the Rams running back, he's out for a while. And Jimmy G, last but not least, he's going to be out for a while too. As far as the teams that we got on a bye week, we got the Panthers, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, Jets, and the Titans. So now we're going to switch it over to the waivers and tell y'all who y'all should be picking up to fill these voids with these injuries and these bye weeks coming up. So we're going to throw it to you first, New York, and Empire Sports Zone. Who's number 5 on your waiver wire pickup list?
Number 5, I got Washington defense, who's going against, you already know, New York Giants or Saquon in a bag of chips or them bag boys. They stay with a bag. Keep the bag. Keep a bag on them. But that's a little prop, let's take that one off. But let's get serious with it. Yeah, the Giants, they haven't scored a TD in 13 quarters. What is that? 3 games? Haven't scored not one TD. I'll take Washington with that one. Who else? So yeah, with that Washington team, their defense is okay. It's a divisional game. So they're both gonna play hard, but I just don't like that Giants offense, and I'll take Washington with the defense, number 5.
All right, good stuff. Let's keep it rolling. Antoine, who you got at number 5?
All right, number 5, I'm gonna go with a tight end for you guys. I'm gonna go with Michael Mayer from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's starting to come into his own here. He had the most targets that he had all season in last week's game. I think he's going to continue to get targets, even with Jimmy Garoppolo not being on the field. I think if Aiden O'Connell, the rookie, starts, he'll give him some targets. They've been working together on at practice and things like that. So Michael Mayer is my number 5 for your tight end.
All right, Lex, who you got?
Michael Mayer was a good one. I thought about going there as well at tight end. But for number 5, I think I'm going to go with a quarterback, Tyson Bagnet, the quarterback, stepping in for Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears. Chicago got some weapons on the outside with Moore at receiver. They got a few guys that can get open, stretch the field with the tight end, with Kemet. So I think in Bagnet, he started to play well in the 3rd and 4th quarter. He put some points up towards the end of the game. I expect him to sling the ball this game. They playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Don't have no defense at all. So I've got Bagnet at quarterback at number 5 for myself.
All right. Let's move on to number 4. Tell us who you got at number 4, Lex.
Number 4 is a toss up for me. But I think I'm gonna go with Kendrick Bourne for the Patriots. I actually picked him up last week. He played well. It looked like Mac Jones was just deciding to go to him all game, every play. He was getting a lot of receptions last game, but he only rostered in 16% of the leagues right now. So I know there's opportunity for a lot of people to pick him up. So I'm going with Kendrick Bourne at receiver for the Patriots this week for my number 4.
Okay, I like that. New York, who you got at number 4, bro?
Number 4 got Curtis Samuel. Last week he was 4 for 4, 42 yards, 1 TD. That was his consecutive game with a TD. He's like their gadget player. They use him on like different reverses. He plays in the slot, and he got that knack to get in that end zone. So I'm gonna take Samuel, number 4.
Nice. Antoine, who you got at number 4?
That was a good one. My number 4 was actually Curtis Samuel, so I'm going to actually pivot here for you. My number 4 is going to be Detroit Lions wide receiver Jameson Williams. He's just starting to get back here. He's going to be a boomer bust for you. I believe that he's only going to get 3 or 4 targets, but those targets are going to be downfield targets, and I believe he could score a touchdown as well, which on my show, Fantasy AA, we talk about thresholds. If you can get 10 or more fantasy points, you're doing okay. If you can get 15 or more fantasy points, then business is picking up. And that's what I think is going to happen here for Jameson Williams.
Nice. All right, let's move on to number 3. New York, who you got at number 3?
Number 3, we got I'm gonna go with Chuba Hubbard, from Carolina. What do you got? Last week, what he had? 19 carries, 88 yards, 1 TD. They had over 25 attempts, and he had 19 of them. So that right there is going to give you a lot of. When you get a lot of carries, you're able to get those yards, those TDs. They're actually on the bye this week, but sometimes you got to look at it like the future. You can't like really go as like right now. If you don't really need them right now, that's all right. But to have them on your bench and have them there, because the buys are coming up right now. So if you can, if the running backs have a bye, get Herbert, put him in there, lock him in there, he'll be good money. And that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Antoine says on his pod is that you got to try to be a week ahead when it comes to them waivers. So you can,
and I think he's in 41% of the leagues right now. So I actually added him on like every team I had earlier today. So try to pick him up. He was there.
Nice. Lex, it's on you. Who you got at number 3?
Number 3, I'm gonna go with Kareem Hunt. He back with the Browns. Got a few weeks under his belt. Last game he had 47 yards on 12 carries. He had 24 yards for 3 receptions. He only rostered in 36% of the leagues. He's still out there, still available for a lot of people to still pick up. And I think eventually he's about to start getting more and more carries. So like I said, 12 last week. This game, I expect him to get 15 or more coming up in the following game. And he's going to get the red zone touches. So even if you don't get 20, 30 carries, at least you get the red zone carries. That's the most important carries you get near the end zone. You get in the end zone, you get a lot more points if you get in that end zone rather than just getting the carries and the bulk load of the work. So that's where I'm going with number 3.
I like that. All right, let's move on to the top 2. Let's start with you, New York. Who's in your top 2 waiver wire pickups for this week?
Oh, I ain't get my number 3, bro.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get your 3 off.
My bad, Twan. It's on you, number 3, bro.
So number 3, I'm going to go with my homer pick, man. It's going to be Los Angeles Rams running back Zach Evans. And the reason being is because this morning he was the only running back on the roster, being that everybody else was injured. They did sign Royce Freeman to the active roster and Myles Gaskins to the active roster, but this guy's been here the entire time. Pittsburgh is ranked 29th in rush defense. They're giving up 143 yards a game. So
that's hard to believe.
Yeah,
Steelers giving up yards on the ground like that.
Giving up yards on the ground. So if Zach Evans get at least somewhat similar to the workload that Kyron Williams got last week, I think he could put up good numbers for you as far as fantasy is concerned.
Okay, I like that. Now we get into the top 2. We're going to start with you, Antoine. Who's in your top 2?
So number 2, I've been touting this guy all season. I think people need to be picking him up, and he's still not rostered in only, 29% of leagues. We're talking Washington Commanders quarterback Sam Howell. I think people be rostering this guy. He's getting the ball to Curtis Samuel. He's getting the ball to Terry McLaurin. He's not getting the ball to Jahan Dotson, man. But
we thought he was going to be the guy.
Yeah. And so far this year, he's reached my threshold of 15 fantasy points or more in all but one game, and that was against Buffalo. So go out there and get your Sam Howell.
All right. Good advice, bro. Good advice, bro. Lex, it's on you. Who you got at number 2?
I think I'm gonna go with a surprise play, for everybody here. I'm going with Craig Reynolds from Detroit Lions. I watched him. Last game. The guy just run hard. I think Detroit about to start using him in that same Debo package, the way 49ers use Debo. He was lined up in the backfield. He got 10 carries in the backfield. He's still a receiver, but he run and play with a physicality that's just different. He reminds me so much of Debo. So I expect the Lions to start utilizing him a lot more. And plus, they 2 running backs is out. Gibbs was out for the last 2 weeks, and David Montgomery went down last week. So if these 2 guys don't end up playing, then expect Craig Reynolds to get 25 touches this game, 25 touches. He will find his way to the end zone. Even if one or two of them play, he still will get the ball because the way they utilize him, I think they found the secret weapon in Reynolds last game. So I'm going with him for my number 2.
He reminds you of Debo. There's only one Debo, fam. We appreciate that. New York, it's on you, bro. What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jordan Mason actually. I like him on there. I know a lot of people they'll take Mitchell first over him. Jordan Mason, I feel like he's like the bigger back. He'll probably get those red zone touches. He got in the end zone last week. I think he got in the end zone the last 2 weeks.
Yes, he did.
He did. I was about that. The last 2 weweeks, right?
Yeah. We played the Cowboys the week before. He got in the end zone against them.
Yeah, throw that one in there. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like he's the bigger back out of that backfield. We don't know about McCaffrey right now. He might come back in, he might not. So I'll take Jordan in that offense with Shanahan. And right now he's actually 90% of the leagues right now. And they're going against Minnesota defense, which can't stop a nosebleed. And in the famous words of my guy Bart Scott, rock it like that.
All right. Good stuff. We're gonna start with you, Lex. Who is your number 1 waiver wire pickup for this week in fantasy football?
Jordan Mason is my number 1 guy for this fantasy week pickup this week. Some of the points New York touched on. San Fran like to run the ball. They down a few players. Debo is hurt. McCaffrey hurt. So I don't expect them 2 guys to come back this week. So I think they're gonna lean on Jordan Mason. We all starting to. I mean, I always say it, but I think the world is starting to realize that Purdy is a system quarterback. They need to run the ball, control the game, and before they start to allow him to open up the offense. So I think Jordan Mason going to get some touches this week. Even if like Elijah play, I think Jordan Mason is the bigger back. He will get the goal line touches, which I just look for goal line touches most of the time when I think of running backs. That's why I seem to get Derrick Henry every year on my teams.
That was so unnecessary, man. Why are you throwing Purdy into this mix, man?
You threw Dallas into the mix.
So, Antoine, who you got? Who's your guy to have a waiver wire pickup this week, bro?
Well, the rest of them, my top 5 to 2 were the ones that you need to get this week. The number 1 is going to be for this week and beyond, and that's going to be Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice.
Excuse me. Yes,
and reason being is because when we look at wide receivers, we're looking at 2 folds. We're looking at deep targets, so that's targets over 10 to 15 yards, and then we're looking at targets in the red zone. He's getting both from Patrick Mahomes. He's starting to become the one that Patrick Mahomes trusts the most. And in 4 of the 6 weeks, he's reached my threshold of the 10 or more fantasy points. So give Rashee Rice on your team, man.
So,
yeah,
question,
I
Antoine,
agree with that.
You taking Rice over Ross?
Yeah.
Okay. Ross
is that the one Kansas City receiver you should get if you're gonna have any of them dudes?
That's the one. He's the one for it. Yeah.
Okay.
When it started the season, it was none of them. Don't pick up none of them until we see who.
What's up to do more?
Skylar Moore was supposed to take over. I don't know what happened.
He was, but nah.
Yeah.
He ain't it.
He's basically gadget. He's getting those jet sweeps, the fly motions. It's not really working out for him. He's not producing at that level. So.
And you definitely don't want Tony.
Nah, yeah. He's the last one you want. I'd rather have MVS than Tony.
Yeah.
New York, it's on you. Who's your number 1?
I'm gonna go with my boy said what he had at 3, Zach Evans.
Zach
On the
Evans,
Rams
yeah.
running back, he's literally the only running back right now. Kyrie Williams is out with the ankle. The R2 running back is out. Ronnie Rivers,
PCL strain.
with a knee injury, right?
Yep, PCL strain out for 4 weeks.
Yes, it's literally just Zach Evans. So he's getting every touch, and that's what you want to run it back. Touches, and he's going to get the red zone. He's going to get the ones on the 50-yard line, the 30-yard line, 40. He's getting he's getting everything. He's the only running back. So I like that pick at the number 1. And he's a rookie. He's a rookie. So I kind of do like rookie as running backs. I feel like they play harder because they're trying to earn their keep on the team, and they're going to play every down hard. So that's my number 1, Zach Evans, running back on the Rams.
All right,
that
good
was a
stuff,
good
guys.
one. Streets, before you get in, I got a question because I know Antoine Fantasy AA, he's the Rams fan here. So I saw Fournette cancel the visit to Buffalo. Is it because there's rumors that he may end up working out for the Rams and getting over there?
As far as I know right now, I don't think so. So what we did was Zach Evans is the starting back. Then we signed Myles Gaskins and put him on the active roster from the Vikings practice squad. And then we moved Royce Freeman up from the practice squad. And then we signed Darrell Henderson to the practice squad. So we made 3 moves as far as running backs are concerned just today. So I don't know, maybe. But as of right now, you got four running backs on the roster.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about Damian Harris went down too.
For Buffalo,
Buffalo, yeah, Giants-Bills game Sunday night. All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Got all your waiver wire pickups. Put them things in because, tonight is the deadline. We got the same crew as always. We got my boy New York, Empire Sports Zone. We got Lex from Real Sports Covering. And we got my boy Antoine from Fantasy AA. Before we put a bow on this, Antoine, tell the people where they can find your podcast at in case they want to get some more fantasy knowledge from you.
Oh, man, you can find my podcast wherever podcasts are listened to. Just search Fantasy AA. Again, it's Fantasy Addicts Anonymous. It's the only AA that's not for quitters. Embrace your addiction. I do have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/Fantasy AA if you want to support the channel.
All right, there you have it, folks. Signing out. Like, subscribe, and share. It costs you nothing to show love.